Welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. Today we are joined by Caio Simon, who is from Gravity and is going to share some things that they're doing in the world of EdTech. And we're very excited to have Caio with us, and welcome.
Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here and just talk about Gravity, show some EdTech tools, and let's excited to do this podcast.
Perfect. Well, we really appreciate, like David said, having you here. We're just going to kind of roll with it, some interview questions, and I know Caio has some things that he would like to demonstrate for us as well. So we'll kind of tie all of that in together. But Caio, let's start with you a little bit. What's your background? What's your story? How did you become involved with Gravity?
Right. So I don't know how much of my story you want, but basically I'm just a student. I live in Amsterdam right now. I study at the University of Amsterdam. It's a new program called Computational Social Science. But I was going through my program like normally, and then I thought I want to do something extra. I want to get a job, get some experience. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Well, what are you passionate about?" I said, "I guess education is really important, right?" I've always been involved in committees to do with education, make sure we're all learning well. And then I was like, well, but I really like tech. So I looked for Gravity, and Gravity had this amazing product. And I was like, I want to get involved. So I'm now an intern at Gravity. It's been like a year, and, it's been, we're just growing. It's a very new startup and everything. But this is how I got to Gravity, basically.
So how would you explain what Gravity is for viewers that are unfamiliar with it? I think David and I have a pretty good idea, but can you explain for others what Gravity is, what Gravity does?
Yeah, sure. So Gravity is a collaborative learning tool, and it's just really cool. I'm gonna show it to you later, but it's you can have different classrooms or learning communities. You don't have to be in a physical classroom together. It's all online, and we try to basically empower discussions and sharing knowledge through video. We really believe in video, in this connection that we have here. Not just talking through text. And we have a whole host of AI features as well to empower teachers. It's super cool. But yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And we'll get to see it here coming up. David?
Caio, who was it, or what was it that inspired you in Gravity to create solutions in the EdTech space? What is the mission there?
I'd say, I guess ever since I guess COVID was really a turning point, right? In a sense where everyone had to be everything had to be done online, I guess, in a sense. And we saw an opportunity. I mean, I joined later this entire journey, but Daniel and his partner Jessica, they saw they had this vision and everything, of let's make a tool so that online discussions can be good and even better than discussions in person, so where everybody gets their voice heard, which I think is super important. And we don't have people talking over each other, or everybody can follow their own train of thought. And they came up with Gravity, which I think really helps people learn better, by interacting and following their own trains of thought. It's super cool.
Yeah, so as that video sharing type of a tool, right, that you talked about, there are, as both of us are classroom teachers by training, right? And, class discussions in person, those are great. But then you talk about when you get to COVID and now, you switch the way that you have to try to reach different students in your classroom. And I don't think either one of us, David and I, would want to go back to that situation. But there were things that I did notice, when I was teaching through COVID. And one of the things that I noticed is that when you did allow students the ability to share their views and their beliefs, whether it was in a written comment or in sharing a video one. I know I back then used a lot of a product called Flipgrid, which did similar things. But now that tool is becoming much less available for people to use. But one of the things I did notice is that those students who didn't really actively participate in discussions in person now are finding kind of that voice, and they're finding that avenue that they're able to share in a more, comfortable way for them. I mean, is that kind of something that you saw too, and what attracted you to Gravity as well?
For sure, for sure. I think a big thing in like classroom discussions, like when you're live and in person, is like perhaps there's like that one. There are a few confident kids or something that they know how to speak. They know how to articulate their thoughts really well, and sometimes they can like dominate the discussion. Through no fault. No fault through no fault of their own. Sorry, and then somebody who is not as socially adept or is not as confident doesn't have like the confidence to just really share their opinion, even though they might have something really valuable to say, right? So in Gravity, you can do it through video, right? So you can, and it's not live, so you can just go, okay, you can just practice what you're saying 100 times if you want to, which is great. And also, there's not like one voice that dominates the discussion. If that one confident person posts a great video, everybody can respond to that and they can follow their own train of thought, but people can also respond to the quiet kids train of thought. It just changes social dynamics in a way which I personally find very beneficial, and from what I've seen, it works really well.
Right, and it opens up different avenues for people to participate, I think, right? And
Mhm.
like you said, you can comment on with your own post back to somebody else's original post, and it can then continue a discussion thread that might even move along the
Mhm.
advancement of learning and knowledge through those different processes. And so, I think definitely, like you're talking about, it's a tool that we kind of need now more than ever. And we take those things that, from COVID that we did learn that are valuable, and find a way to keep integrating those into the things that teachers use in their classrooms.
Absolutely. And just to also make it clear, we're not, only made for like online learning. We love like in-person learning as well. We're just like a tool that can add on to this. But to your point
Right.
about kids, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think so, and I think you're exactly right. I could see definitely opportunities for teachers, even in in-person classes, to be able to offer this as a tool to reflect, even where
mhm.
students can post something about what they've learned about, and how they've internalized it, and give kind of their thoughts to show what they know, at the same time, and have other students like, oh, I didn't really think about it that way. And, I thought of it this way. And it can kind of continue, even though they might see each other day to day, they might not naturally have that opportunity in the traditional kind of, at least in the United States, like a 45, 50-minute class period. And then they go on to the next subject somewhere else. So yeah, I definitely think that that's kind of a cool feature of that for sure.
Yeah, and if well, you mentioned the US, but I mean, I'm here in the Netherlands, and we go through some of the same stuff. I'm still in university, so I am in a classroom and everything all the time. And I remember last semester we had this assignment. It was a semester-long assignment where we had to read. We were assigned some texts to read, and then we had this online tool that I forgot which one it was, but you had to basically highlight parts of the text and comment on them, and we were evaluated on like what our comments were like. So what you basically had was just like people waffling on and on, trying to sound smart, but like they're just it was very performative in a sense, and it didn't feel natural, right? And
Mhm.
and what I'm trying to do now is to get the school to use Gravity, because here you can just like use video, right? You can do the same discussion but in a more organic, natural way, instead of uh you know using I don't know how many adjectives and adverbs and everything. And it's just yeah, it just feels really cool. So it's not just a problem in the US, it's everywhere. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
On that note, do you think there's a so typically before this we would have had like students would always turn in some sort of like paper or digital work, or maybe do like a presentation in front of the class. Is there a value that you think can be derived from the video medium where they can do those reflections and then turn them in, and whether that's like just the teacher watching it or if it's shared among students and they can see it. Do you think that there's a value there that we get from the video style versus some of the other ones? And not that it's replacing those, but that, it maybe enhances things in a way that the others can't.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. Like as you said, video is not like a replacement for in-class presentations, right? You still got to learn how to stand up in front of a class, make a PowerPoint and everything. Like that's super important, and I love presentations, making PowerPoints, that kind of stuff. So I never argue against it, but I mean, we're, I guess, moving into a world where like video is also important, and there are plenty of advantages to video, right? Because you do a presentation in a classroom, and unless you record it, it's basically lost forever, right? A video, you can keep it forever. You can share it, and people can add on to it with our threads feature in Gravity, and video as a medium as well. You can do a lot with it, right? You can edit the video, and sharing is a lot easier. So yeah, becoming proficient at this, I think, is important, and it's going to be even more important as time goes on. So yeah, does that answer your question? I
Yeah,
hope.
it does. I think, because I was thinking of it just from the skill standpoint too, of, like if you just take the channel that Jeremy and I have with Integrate This, or, with like my organization, we do PD on demand, and all of that has to be done remotely. It's
Mhm.
people accessing those things that maybe they're close, maybe they're far away, but I just like it from the standpoint of like people being able to access trainings or whatever it might be on demand. And
Mhm.
I think that the skills that students can learn from platforms like yours is extremely important, because they can start learning those early on. So like on YouTube, there's tutorials for everything. So, and students are constantly watching things like that, or, so being able to learn that is good too.
Yeah, no,
Hopefully.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So David and Caio, I think we've kind of talked about Gravity here quite a bit, but I think,
Yeah.
people want to see it now, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So are you ready? Would you like to share a little bit about what your platform looks like?
Yeah. Let's go. So this is Gravity, like login screen. Nothing too interesting, but I just want to highlight that we have some features, and we've actually Gravity was selected to be for a study at like Johns Hopkins. It was selected for a study at the Johns Hopkins School of Education, and it showed an increase in exam scores, decrease in standard deviation within those scores. So I just see it as, showing that there's a real potential there for helping those people that don't raise their voice too often. And this is, Gravity. When you log in, these are just tests that I've done. So it looks a bit embarrassing right now. I mean, the interface is basically you here, and then you can, create prompts. So this is a quick prompt that's like a free version. Anybody can do this. 1 minute prompts. They're pretty simple. You just select the community where you want to post it, record a video. You have voice, video. You can share your screen. Get our best prompts here in like the premium prompts, right? Where we have like some AI features. I never actually used Flip. I heard it was like very popular in the US. So
Very
I don't know.
popular. And actually, it was a company that started in Minnesota. We were pretty familiar with it around here, and then they were bought out by Microsoft. And we're not trying to rag on any companies, but Microsoft did some very cool things to help that company along, right?
Mhm.
But then just this last spring, Microsoft announced that they were going to take Flip and put it as part of their premium package. So only schools that subscribe to Microsoft are going to be able to use the features of Flip. And around us, at least, I would say 95% of the schools that we work with are probably more Google based than they are
Right.
Microsoft based. So, and of course, we hear from classroom teachers like, oh, I don't have this tool that I, used to love and work with, and what can I use instead? And so, that's what brings us to you. But
Yeah.
But from my experiences of playing around with Gravity too, is I do see a lot of the potentials that were there with Flip, but also now I think there are some other unique features here that Gravity has that maybe even elevates it a little bit from some of the things that they were able to do with Flip. And I think you're getting into some of those AI features. And so I don't know if you want to kind of continue to go down that path.
Yeah. So I don't know all the features that Flip had because it was just not like very prevalent here in Europe, I guess. But we have some really cool AI features. So you have like prompts, and then you can use our prompt assistant. So you say something about like, I don't know, fall of the Roman Empire, and then like dates, causes, or whatever, and then we can ask our AI, and it generates like a script for you so that you can follow it, and it really helps the teachers and everything. But obviously we don't want. Sorry.
Wasn't it kind of like a teleprompter, like for that prompt, right? So if the teacher were to record themselves reading the prompt, they can still engage with the camera while they're reading the prompt off of the screen.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And the prompt doesn't show up on the recording and everything, right? So people would just think you're like a genius and you memorized all this information and everything.
And you're really just like, thank you, AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just it's super efficient. Just helps you plan the lessons, speaking like a more natural way. I mean, I love it. And you can also just paste your own script over here. And we have like a lot of different things now. You can attach different files for students to engage with. YouTube. This was really exciting when we added it. It was like National Archives. So I don't know if you probably work with a lot of history teachers. So if they want students to like directly engage with some historical documents, and it's available on National Archives, they can just put it up on Gravity. We'll link it to it, and then students can look at it, come back to Gravity. It all goes really smoothly. So we have
post their reflection based upon this thing. And then I think one of the neat features here too, and I don't think this was prevalent in Flip, is because like you're showing it, whether it's a YouTube video or the National Archives, you even have FigJam on there. And David and I have highlighted FigJam before too, that you can have the students access those right within Gravity itself and not have to go back to their LMS, click on that other link to bring that back up again, toggle back and forth between these different tabs, whereas they can all do it right within or access it right within your platform.
Yeah, just embed it right in the platform. It's really smooth, really we really worked really hard on that because we want to make it like a very seamless experience when people learn. Actually, Gravity is also really popular with language learning. So here, if I direct you to this like right side of the screen, we have the language that you're speaking. So it helps our AI identify it, and also then translates for now to one of these. I think it's 12 languages that we have supported right now. But we have but it's all done by AI. So like auto translation, if you want to, and also transcription, which really helps people like engage with people from other cultures that speak different languages, and also you can like join. I don't know. This is like a pipe dream, but we always want to make like, obviously we sell to classrooms. Classrooms are our main focus, but we love like just learning in general. So if we can like make a dream would be to have like a learning community, right, where you can just connect with people from like Nigeria, China, Brazil, anywhere, and you could all like share. So this is like one small step in this vision, right? The translation so that everybody can understand each other. And then we also have some other AI features such as originality, so that people, we let people know if like what they say sounds a lot like AI, so that they can just rephrase and think more about like what they're saying, right? And just say it in their own words. And we're not against AI. I mean, we clearly have a lot of AI features, but we also think obviously the student has to do the work, so we just try to let them know, hey, rephrase this, please. And then
try to keep them honest and
yeah, exactly.
So now as the teacher, you make the prompt, right? and then you post it in one of your folders or communities that you have back on your other dashboard, right? And
Yeah.
then you share that with your students who then open up, and now all of a sudden they can make a post and it shows up like one of those cards that you see on there, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So here I'm in I think this is a Texas University or Texas State University class on economics. So here's the professor. I think it's probably just easier if I show it to you. He talks about like shopper rebellion, trying to engage students, and then like people can respond. So the students respond, talking about their experience, and then here I go, and then like two people have responded to Jalen, and you can just like start a thread, following like this train of thought, on gas prices, inflation,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. And then, but if you're not interested in that, you can start another thread with other people, and just keep following on from there, which is really cool, really powerful, and that's how we want gravity to be used. Just empowering people to, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really neat. And as the teacher kind of going back in, if I see that there's a thread that maybe is stalled, right, that I
Mhm.
think is an important one, I could post something there again to try to spur more discussion to occur in that area that I think is pretty important, or where someone brought up a pretty good idea.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's also actually one of my favorite features in Gravity is like the fact that it's like asynchronous, right? So you can have a discussion and then like retroactively add to it as well, which I find like super powerful, right? Maybe you have a new student that comes to class and you update. He shares his views. Maybe not everybody's gonna watch that video, but if you're interested, if you have a very engaged learning community, discussion can keep growing organically instead of just being lost after like a 15-minute discussion in class in like fifth period or something. It can just it lives on forever, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so thanks for the demonstration. We one question we have is if with the ed tech market the way that it is, it's typically overcrowded. There's a lot of different options for various things. What would you say it is that sets Gravity apart from other things like, say, Microsoft Flip, or Screencastify has their Submit, stuff like
Mhm.
that? What is some things that set Gravity apart from that?
So I'd say first of all, I mean we have a lot of AI features, but everybody is trying to add AI features, right? It's like a whole race right now. Personally, I think we did it really well, and people might catch up at some point. But this really, I think the way that we do it with like a lot of collaboration and this whole like threads environment is really special. So everybody can just follow their chain of thought. No voices are too important. And one of the things that I like, and I mean, obviously we're gonna keep growing, but right now, if you have a subscription, you have any tech problems, and you call us, you're probably gonna be talking to Daniel, who's our CTO. So we're really small scale, but you're gonna be talking to one of the big guys at the company, and he's gonna be trying there to help you. He knows the platform like inside and out. He's gonna fix your problems like super quickly. So this really like I guess personable and like tight knit community that we have is really important. Also, since we're like small right now, if people join, I guess any suggestions we're always open to them, right? And it doesn't have to go through 5 layers of management to get to us. It quite literally just gets to the decision makers. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the National Archives integration that I
Mhm.
showed, that's another example. Like we were talking to, I think we were talking to like a foundation or something, or some history teachers, and they were like, "Oh, we love like the National Library. They have such good material. How can we get it on there?" And then David was like, "Let's put it on there." He worked a lot like for a weekend, and there it was. So we're probably gonna have some more integration with Google Classroom at some point very soon.
So, what do you think is kind of like, or where do you see the future of video sharing and learning going, like a direction? And can Gravity help educators and students get to those points in the future where you see like what would be your or Gravity vision for that?
Right. Okay. So I think I might have touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but like the big dream, like this is like a pipe dream, right? I don't know if this is ever going to happen or not. But we'd love to have like these global learning communities all learning together with people from all over the world, that they can just share knowledge, and then the discussion isn't just lost in time. People can add on to it at future points. It just keeps growing organically. For that, you'd obviously need like very engaged people. Perhaps it wouldn't work so well and like with like, you know, teenagers who just want to go home at some point. But like even then, Gravity has so much potential. We see things such as like the Khan World School, for example, right? Like Khan Academy has like so many. I mean, they basically work through video, and they have a school now, I think, as well, where it's fully online, and people, I think it's on the state of Arizona, but people from all over the world can join or something. They do it all through video. I don't think we've contacted them yet. I don't know if I'm even allowed to talk about them or something. I hope I am. I mean, yeah, video is super important, and then Gravity just comes in that with like really comes into that vision with a lot of features, empowering classrooms, and you know, hopefully we can get to that pipe dream of like global learning communities. But if not, if we can just like change one classroom, help people learn, find their voice, get better at speaking, whatever, like that's enough. That's really just the most important, I guess.
So building those different communities, right? Is there a way through Gravity that, say, a classroom in Minnesota, right, could connect with a teacher's classroom in Amsterdam, you know, to begin to share some of the information about their cultures, maybe build up some of that empathy, maybe help to work to solve problems that are addressing both of those different parts of the world, right? And that would be something that I think would definitely be possible through the way that Gravity is set up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like setting up a community is like super easy, and it gives you like a little join code. You just send it to students. So, you know, we want to have some measure of control over who's joining, but as long as you just send it over here to Amsterdam, and you send over to your students in Minnesota, then boom, we've got a community. We can just start sharing, and like, there we go.
And then the asynchronous part of it would mean that the time zones would basically be irrelevant anyway, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We're recording this is like really early for you guys.
Yeah.
So that would not be a problem with Gravity, I guess.
Are you well versed with the student data privacy laws and the compliance of Gravity towards those?
I remember when I showed it to my friends here in Europe, and then we were talking about like GDPR compliance. So I know more about that.
And actually, I think those are more stringent than what we have even in the United States, even though the United States, I think, is catching up to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Slowly. We tend to regulate a lot, I guess, over here. On the server side, you know, like it's all stored, like for the US, it's all stored in the US, and we have all the protections, you know, because we're dealing with children and everything and their data. We work with like school districts, and they audited us. So yeah, I was just misremembering. I think we have everything in place, like all the security, all the data, the privacy things.
Right.
We do have that in place, and also like SSO, like single sign-on, all of those features. It's all good.
I guess, you know, I've got like one last question, and it's a simple one. How do teachers sign up? Where do they go? You know, if they want to get going with Gravity and they want their students to use it, you know, what can they access for free, and what does it look like for a subscription?
Right. It's like really, really simple. I mean, the first thing you gotta do is just log into Gravity, create an account, free account, no strings attached. You can start creating you have like you have unlimited free prompts, by the way. The only thing is they're restricted to 1 minute each, and then you don't have like the AI features. But apart from that, like everything is good. You know, like you can just make as many prompts as you want. And if you find that useful, you can just use Gravity for free. But if you want like the premium prompts and the AI features and everything, then you just click on Unlock Premium. You're gonna see it on your account screen and everything. Right now, it's at $12 a month, and then $99 a year.
And I think there is an educator discount there.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're a K-12 educator, you get a 50% discount on both those prices. Yeah, so then it goes to like $6 a month or $58 a year, which really isn't a lot. and we're working out some things with pricing on like how many students, like every you just join with your class, and then like everybody gets premium or something. I think that's the scheme that we got right now. So yeah, $58 a year if you're a K-12 educator, and you're good, right? Basically.
Awesome. No, that seems like really reasonable, I think, compared to a lot of ed tech products that we see. You know, and I think the ability to still even be able to use it for free for even up to a minute worth of recording time, I could see that being enough for many teachers. But you know, I do like the ability to bring in some of those AI features, like you demonstrated as well, and the other premium parts that are there. Any other parting things that you want to say, you know, shameless product promotion or self-promotion, you know, like, hey bosses, give this poor intern college student a raise or anything like that. You know,
No.
like like I don't know if you ever watch Hot Ones on YouTube. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
So
they
I'm
eat
gonna
like
be
the
like,
chicken.
okay, you've got this camera, this camera, this camera. Tell the people what you got going on.
Yeah.
That's your moment right now.
Yeah,
No,
or like social media stuff too, if you want to drop those for
right. Yeah.
listeners.
Actually, follow us on Twitter. Daniel does most of the posting there, but he does some really funny posts and like memes and everything. So follow us there. And I mean, really try Gravity. You can have you also have like free premium prompts. Like I think 5 you get when you first sign up. So just try it out. I mean, there's really no strings attached. We think you're gonna love the product. I hope educators love the product. But just try it out and see how it goes. And yeah, that's about it. That's it for me, basically.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Caio, for your time today. I won't say this afternoon or morning because I'm not sure which it is. But we really appreciate you having on and sharing about Gravity. And we hope it's a tool that really does catch on, and wish you the best of luck with university and whatever future plans you have after that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Perfect.
Thanks, Kyle. We're very grateful for Kyle for joining us for the Gravity interview. We just want to point out for those interested, their current privacy policy with Gravity you can find on the website, and they do have different things mentioned in here. For us as an organization, you know, we are always looking at and vetting tools through our Learn platform for our entire region and the schools that we work with. And so we always like to just point out that you should be going through the proper channels at whatever district you're at and working with those in charge of ensuring that student data is safe and making sure that whatever tool you're using, it meets those recommendations through state law. So again, great tool, and just make sure that if you are going to use it, check with those that are the gatekeepers at your district.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us here today. We look forward to bringing you another great episode next week. David and I are going to be tackling some of the new services that are out there that use AI to help bring note-taking abilities to meetings and summarizing key points and directing courses of action, setting up to-do lists and all that sort of stuff right from within there that will run while your meet is going. Imagine not needing to have that person that is responsible for updating agendas and things. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.